For nearly 10,000 years, the rhythm of human life followed the same quiet pattern. People woke with the rising sun, worked until the daylight faded, and rested when darkness covered the land. Tools were simple extensions of the human arm: a hammer, a plough, a spinning wheel. Power came only from muscles, the strength of a horse, the flow of a river, or the direction of the wind. A merchant living in 1700 would have recognized the world of ancient Rome. Life moved slowly. Everything was handmade. Everything was local. And everything had limits. But in the late 18th century, something extraordinary began to happen. Deep beneath the damp, mineral-rich lands of Great Britain, humans discovered a new kind of power. They learned how to unlock the energy stored inside the earth itself: coal. And with it came machines powerful enough to change the world forever. This transformation would become known as the Industrial Revolution. Beginning around 1760, spreading across Europe and eventually to the United States, this revolution marked the shift from human hands to mechanical power. It was the moment humanity began using millions of years of stored energy to drive a new civilization. At the time, Great Britain was already the most powerful commercial nation on Earth. Its empire stretched across oceans, from the Caribbean to India and far beyond. It was a country filled with merchants, inventors, and entrepreneurs. But its greatest advantage was hidden underground: coal. Huge deposits of cheap energy waiting to be used. Combined with an ambitious business culture, this resource would ignite a transformation unlike anything humanity had ever seen. To understand why Britain led this revolution, historians often point to 5 key advantages. The first was agricultural productivity. New farming technologies like mechanical seed drills and iron ploughs allowed farmers to grow more food with fewer workers. Millions of people were suddenly freed from farm labor, and they needed new jobs. The second advantage was political stability. Britain had a legal system that protected property and encouraged investment. Businesses could grow without fear of sudden government seizure. The third advantage was geography. Britain was an island with countless rivers and natural harbours. Transporting goods by water was cheap and efficient. The fourth factor was intellectual culture. The scientific revolution had created a society that valued experimentation, engineering, and discovery. And finally, there was a powerful economic incentive. In Britain, workers were expensive, but coal was extremely cheap. For entrepreneurs, the solution was obvious: build machines to replace human labor. Before factories existed, most manufacturing happened inside homes. This was known as the putting out system. Across villages in England, families worked together producing textiles. Women spun raw cotton or wool into thread. Men used wooden looms to weave the thread into cloth. It was a slow and quiet domestic industry, but demand for cloth was exploding across Europe. Cotton had become known as white gold, and British producers faced a serious problem. They could not compete with the incredible fabrics produced in India, where skilled artisans created delicate cloth at extremely low prices. Indian labor was far cheaper, and their quality was unmatched. The British government even passed laws called the Calico Acts to restrict imports of Indian textiles. But instead of stopping the trade, these laws created pressure to innovate. British inventors began searching for ways to produce cotton faster and cheaper than ever before. The first breakthrough arrived in 1733. An inventor named John Kay created a device known as the flying shuttle. This simple mechanism allowed a single weaver to work much faster than before. Production doubled almost overnight. But this innovation created a new crisis. Weavers could now produce cloth faster than spinners could create yarn. Suddenly, there was a massive shortage of thread. It took nearly 8 spinners to keep up with one weaver. This bottleneck slowed the industry for decades, until another inventor stepped forward. James Hargreaves created a machine called the spinning jenny. With it, a single worker could spin multiple threads at the same time. Production increased dramatically. But the real turning point came with Richard Arkwright. Arkwright developed a larger machine known as the water frame. Unlike earlier inventions, it required powerful flowing water to operate. The machine was too large to fit inside homes, so Arkwright built large buildings near rivers to house them. These buildings were something entirely new. They were the world's first factories. Soon after, another inventor, named Samuel Crompton, combined earlier designs into a machine called the spinning mule. It produced yarn stronger and finer than anything made by hand. The results were astonishing. In 1750, Britain imported around 2.5